Hi guys, I just want to do a really quick video showing paint. Some of the problems I've had with paint recently. This is going to be before a painting that I do, so I might have to go back to it later, just add it to the video, right? So this is the bad floetrol. This stuff has white flakes in it. Gross, nasty, does not belong in your paint, right? Hopefully it's a good zoom. Can't really tell. Let me go back to the canvas here. So yeah, this ended up in my paint and I was pretty pissed about it. It's not only in just one color, it's also in this other one. And this is a lot of paint and a lot of floetrol, so I was really mad about that. This is after I shook the floetrol, so it's not that. This is nothing to do with the consumer. This is completely based upon the floetrol when I got it. It just, I don't know. It's the quart flood floetrol. I don't get the gallons because my Home Depot doesn't carry them, and I have a Home Depot card. Trying to build up credit, and it's really, really difficult if you don't actually buy stuff with it, right? So that happened. That was with the quart, but thankfully that was in the last of the floetrol that they had. I ended up buying out all of their floetrol that day, which was just 2 quarts. I think it was in both of the quarts, but I can't. I have no way of knowing right now. So when their new shipment came in and they refilled their stock, everything was back to normal. So it just happened to be that one floetrol. Let's see. So that could have been something because like a truck was too hot or too cold. I live up in Michigan and our stuff like changes on a daily basis. And we have like really, really humid heat. It's not dry whatsoever. Like today was pretty much 90% humidity and like 74, I think, but it felt like 95. That's how bad it was. I threw on the AC. I really did. I know it sucks. So that's the floetrol. What's the other thing I wanted to show? Okay, so this guy, this is not actually a problem. I have had some paint sitting in this for weeks, literally weeks. This is Betty Crocker. I believe you get this at the dollar store. I think you get 2 for $1, 3 for $1, something like that. This stuff has been sitting there for weeks and I think it's still viable. It's got air bubbles in it still, but if you look at it, it's still viable. It's it has pouring medium already in it. I don't remember what pouring medium I used. It was probably just floetrol and water and glue, I'm sure. And it's still runny. It's still like almost perfect, really. This is how I left it. So I'm like, holy crap, you know? I mean, this is pretty much holding on to a bulk, you know? This was I think the Fine Touch from Hobby Lobby. It's not the best paint in the world, right? But look, it's holding for weeks. I can't even do that with like the small condiment containers. Like these little guys, you know, the what, 2 ounce, 1 ounce? No, they won't hold in those guys. But this, oh yeah, I'm floored because when I use, let me show you this. This is another one that's been in there for weeks. This is an orange. And I may have mixed yellow in it. I do not remember. But this guy has been sitting in there for weeks, and I actually think he's viable too. I'm going to use him in a pour later on. It's a little thicker than I want. It's a little glumpy, but that's okay. That's fixable, right? That's totally fixable. The only thing I don't like about reusing the little 4-ounce cups is that, you know, this stuff comes off and it gets into your paint and it's a pain in the ass. So I like using the disposables. I tried the 4-ounce containers for a long time. I would throw them into the dishwasher, but I wouldn't get them out. Like I would try and get out all the paint that I possibly could, so it didn't end up in, like, you know, my dishwasher or in the water system, right? But it still wouldn't really get it out. So I can't suggest it. But if you need to hold on to it and you already have those, go for it, right? Otherwise, I got these, I think, at Walmart, something like that. These are 5.5 ounces, so it's more than the 4-ounce containers. These have been holding pretty good, and these are disposables. This has got Vallejo in it. I don't know how long it'll hold. This has been, I don't know, it's been less than a week. So I can't really say, oh yeah, that's going to work fine. No, I have no idea, so take that with a grain of salt. So I got that color. That's the teal color. Then I have this green that I mixed a little bit of blue. This is more like a greenish turquoise, like a green turquoise. And that too looks like it's also held. Again, it's been weeks since I used this. It looks good. It's pouring like doggone near perfectly. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it later, and I'm going to see what happens, because that just looks good to me. And it's got pouring medium in it. It's going to flow the way I want it to. I don't have to mix anything today. It's from like some of the cheapest paint you can literally buy. It's not from the dollar store, but even dollar store, you get like small amounts, right? This is from the Fine Touch of Hobby Lobby. This is a 500 milliliter jar. What?
Are you recording?
Yeah, I am, but I'm just talking, honey. Okay, well, you're gonna have to be quiet.
Okay.
So this is 500 milligram jar from the Fine Touch from Hobby Lobby. As you can see, I got that August 6th. This is translucent. I actually did a test on a strip.
Hello.
And these guys, they do the job for pours. They really do.
Well, we're actually going to make a video, like a real video, when after our dinner goes.
Right. How did you know that?
God, you tell me.
Have you been spying on me?
Yes.
Of course you have. So I think this is even cheaper than the Artist Loft on sale.
Okay, that one,
Okay, hold on, honey. Careful, real careful.
Okay.
Like, I picked this up today because it was $4. And I really needed like a pinkish color.
And all this stuff is mainly like from, you know.
Michael's?
Yep.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is the Artist Loft. This is 8.45 fluid ounces. They're on sale for half off. Although, you know what? Now I have to question that, because usually half off only means 4 ounces. I gotta wonder how much I paid for this, because I walked out of there like pretty light in my wallet. I was like, okay, this is not what I planned. So now I gotta look at my receipt and see how much I paid for that. Because if I paid $8 for the 8 ounces, I would rather go with the Liquitex Basics. I think they're better than the Artist Loft. They seem to keep longer. They seem to be a little bit more vibrant. And in the tubes, they don't for me at least, they don't tend to gum up, where Artist Loft, they get clumpy, like in a really bad way. I had a bronze, a really pretty bronze that, was it a bronze or a copper? It was a copper, sorry. I had a really pretty copper from Artist Loft, and I used it one day, like, I don't know, a couple of days after, maybe a week after I opened the tube, and the whole thing was terrible. It was there was little uh, clumps in it, and it wasn't like the type that you could just smush out. It was so many of them, and it just, I felt like it ruined my painting because it was in the paint and I dumped it onto the canvas already. There was nothing I could do about it. Well, I mean, I hadn't dumped it onto the canvas, I had already dumped it into the cup that I was making the pour with. And because it was already in there, there was nothing I could do. I couldn't like scoop out the copper from like whatever colors I had in there. So that really sucked, and I was pissed. And since then, I've tried not to use Artist Loft. But I'm going to try this if it wasn't $8. If that was $8, no way. I got to take it back because I'm dumb and didn't actually look. But yeah, so I like the fine touch. This guy really works. I have started using some of the Artist Loft, the Flow Acrylic. I think the Flow Acrylic is better than the house paint I've been trying to use. I've been using the Bear house paint. But the Flow Acrylic seems to be a bit better than that. I don't like the Flow Acrylic for most of my pours. It's not as vibrant as I want, and it seems it's okay. So it's like a medium thickness where you still need to water it down a bit. Not water, but you need to thin it, right? So by the time you're done, you're still, working at it. And, you're spending time, you're spending money on trying to make that into a pourable substance. So I don't know. For me, it doesn't seem worth it. Maybe if I'm trying to mix a certain color, I could try. But for the most part, I've been using this for like negative space pours instead of like using the bare house paint and putting it on the canvas. I've just been using this, and this seems to be doing the job. I was using bare house paint to paint my my cement planters. Excuse me. I did that last couple of weeks, and I managed to sell every single one of them that I had. I was like floored. I couldn't believe it. Of all the things for people to buy at my garage sale, it happened to be my planters. And so I was pretty happy with that.
Hello.
Hi.
Never my shoe problem.
Okay, yes, but I can't do that right now. So yeah, I mean, the planters cost like, I can't say pennies for sure, but it definitely made a profit on just planters. I was just really shocked by that. So I think that's about it. I was using, okay, so I saw somebody, I don't even know what his name was, I feel bad now. Saw somebody use this stuff for dimethicone, because it says dimethicone, something like that. It's in there somewhere. But it's got a bunch of oil in it, right? I was using this, and it seems to not like my paint and not like my canvas. It works for this guy who I got the idea from, but it's not working for me. And that's okay. Not one thing works for everybody, right? So I am going back to my silicone. This is my silicone lubricant from Ace. It's pure silicone lubricant. You don't want something that's a mix. And this guy has been faithful, loyal to me since I got it like 3 months ago. And I barely, I've got like, I would say at least a fourth left. At least. Yeah, there's a lot. I would still suggest using like what do you call it, a dropper bottle. I still don't have one because it's still missing in my room. But I would still suggest using that. Spray it outside into your bottles and then bring it inside. You don't want to like be spraying for like 5 minutes and then have all that vapor into your house. Terrible stuff. Now I've just been spraying it into my cups. I hate doing that, I really do, but I'm cheap right now. I don't really have a choice. So, yes. Yes, I am. Okay. What? Yes, yes. Okay, so actually I think that's it. I might try and get like I might try and get like a pure dimethicone. I've seen some on Amazon. They're a little more pricey for me though. So we will see what we can do with that. In the meantime, I've got my trusty spray and I've got windows, right? So, okay, that's it for now.
Bye.
Talk to you later.
Meet you catch you later.